All righty. Thank you, guys. Man, had a little technical difficulties there, but we're here. We're here. I'm grateful to be here. Wow, what an afternoon! Again, grateful to be here. Big smile is because of my guests. Uh, for me, I've been wanting to do this interview for a while. She is monstrous. She is monstrous. She is a middle blocker. She is a Isadore Newman Greeny B. Beer. And we're gonna ask her about some technical terms. We're gonna just join us as we talk about Tatum Young, and she refers to be known as Tay. So y'all, type in some questions and stuff. Please welcome Tatum Young, Isadore Newman Greenies.
Hi.
Hey Tay,
Hi.
welcome.
Thanks
How
for
how
having me.
how's your school day?
It was okay. It was chill.
It was chill.
Yeah.
Practice,
Yeah, I had practice.
kick butt.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Um, let's start here. A lot of girls that play the game of volleyball, they start playing at 9, 10, 11, 12. For you, your story is a little different. You started eighth grade. Why the late start?
Um, I guess because like I was so involved in other things. Like growing up, I played a lot of other sports. I did swim, dance, like softball, basketball. Like I just didn't really have time and I never did focus on like one sport. So when I got to Ursuline, I decided to like fully commit.
Okay,
No, eighth grade Cahill. I got to Cahill and I tried out for the volleyball team, and then I kind of like got serious about it. So that's when I decided to play at Newman.
gotcha, gotcha. What was the eighth grade year for you? Like you being a new volleyballer, a lot of the girls that you tried out against, competed against, they already had years of volleyball under their belt. What set Tatum Young apart?
Well, eighth grade year was my first year at Newman, and it was our first year post COVID. So I played JV middle school. I feel like compared to the other girls, I had like a drive for it. Like I really wanted to be there. And like my skill level, obviously, like some of the girls, like we weren't on the same level, but like we all did work together. And I think that I really did contribute and like find a love for the game.
Who did you draw inspiration from being a young player uh, in an area, the New Orleans area? I don't know if you guys know this, but the New Orleans area is full of killers on the volleyball court. It's super competitive, and these young ladies work their cans off at their respective schools to be better. Who did you draw your motivation from to get better, being it another high school student, college volleyballer, or uh, maybe a pro even?
Well, my aunt played volleyball in college and she was really, really good. She set a lot of school records. So growing up, she had like an influence of my interest in the game, but I never really like was fully convinced until I went to Newman. Before I was actually attending Newman, I would go watch my cousin play. And I really like enjoyed the atmosphere and it made me like realize like I could have a future and if I just took it serious.
Now
That
I'm
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, if I took it serious that, like, I could get good.
Uh, you're like 6'2".
Yeah, like 6 foot, 6'1". I wouldn't say 6'2".
Eh,
You think I'm 6'2"?
I think you're pretty. I think you're pretty close. Um, Were you always on the taller side of volleyball, or did you grow into your height from eighth grade?
No, I was always on the taller side, like starting blue crab when I like first played. I was just always in the middle, like always put the ball in the middle, let her hit it out the middle because like of my height. But I didn't really like grow to understand or like grow into my height, like technically, like volleyball, like my ability wise until like eighth grade. But I've always been like tall and in the middle.
Did did you did as a middle blocker? What did you see in yourself that you didn't need explanation about as a player?
Definitely like my purpose, like as a middle blocker, first, like you command the nets, like you're blocking right, you're blocking left, like you're expected to get up on blocks, like no matter if it's like back row attack or like a fastball. But definitely like consistency. Like you just kind of gotta go, if that makes sense. Like you just have to go for the ball, like put up a block, like everything else like around you is gonna fall into place, like defense wise. You just gotta get up.
Okay, generally the young ladies that play the middle blocker position, they also have the title opposite. Can you explain to the viewers what that means?
Well, for me, running out the middle, I like fast sets. So I actually coined the term pin hitter with my coach. So like I can kind of play the entire front row. Rather like if we're like on an out of system ball and like I need to hit like a shoot out the outside or like we need a quick side out and like I need to hit like the A right off the back. But like going like pin or like outside hitter, I prefer like fast balls, and I think that's kind of like what like sets me apart from everyone else because I I can run quick things and like make plays faster than the other team's blocks.
When you look at volleyball from a perspective of not really having a chance to breathe, because again, from your own words, you said that as an eighth grader and really truly your first year of playing volleyball, you had to go straight to JV, which means a tough schedule. Results were warranted. How did you get over the nerves of having to learn to play so fast, so quickly?
Yeah, well, in eighth grade, I wouldn't say it was like fast until my ninth grade year because with COVID, I couldn't play up. I had to play with like the eighth graders in my that were in my grade. So our team was good for eighth graders, but it definitely like wasn't fast. I don't think like the game got fast until I was in ninth grade, and as a freshman, playing varsity was like a really big challenge, like having to step up and like the pacing of the game is just like way different in high school. Like I was used to like playing fast, but like the different sets and the different like plays and stuff we ran, I definitely think was probably the hardest part.
Can you talk about the learning curve it took for you to learn all the buzzwords and again, volleyball is a different monster verbiage wise and understanding what your responsibilities are as a young volleyballer. How'd you grow into being that young volleyballer that didn't want to mess up in the game?
Yeah, at Newman, freshman year, I feel like well, it's not just freshman year, but like our coach has a tendency to like her players to kind of already know. Like she's not a very like big person on coaching and teaching. Like you got to come in ready to learn, like ready to know. But I think I asked a lot of questions. I asked a lot of questions, and I asked the coach for like different like to like write down all the different plays and like the different sets and like the heights and like the tempos and things. But I definitely think for like me to like get it faster, I had to ask, or like also like as a freshman, my upperclassmen were a big help. And my freshman year, my cousin was a senior, so she really like took the time to help me. So
When you look at the level and intensity of volleyball that happens at Newman, was there any fear of not not being ready to play when your number was called?
Definitely my freshman year, like I felt like I was ready to play, like I wanted to play, but like skill wise, where everyone else was coming in as a freshman, I wasn't like matching, especially like they had been playing together since they were in like sixth grade. So coming in and like being the new person was kind of hard, but I when I did get called, I just had to be ready. Like I was always on the edge of my seat, like waiting to be put in the game. And I didn't see a lot of JV play time. So like when I did play in varsity, it was like a few plays, but like they tried to make sure I got the ball and like I knew where I was going.
uh, I'm fooling with this lighting here. I'm sorry. When you think about the growth of your game, and we're only concerned with you in this particular instance, uh, aside from your cousin, who else was some of the players that you said, okay, I can watch this person and actually gain some volleyball knowledge from player wise?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there was a particular player, but I did start watching collegiate level volleyball, like college volleyball. So like seeing the Big Ten or like the Pac-12 schools like playing and like sitting down and actually watching it and like having like a conscious idea of like what was going on and like actually knowing what they were doing or what they were trying to do and like paying attention to like execution and like really specifically watching my position, I feel like really helped me learn the game.
When you look at Newman, let's use this as a familiar setting. Uh, Going into your junior year, you guys are juggernauts. Uh, you guys strike fear into your opponents because as a whole, you guys don't miss digs or you rarely miss digs. You're playing smoothly and efficiently. What was your motivation in knowing that I'm a big part of our team being special? How did you
Yeah,
balance that?
I definitely realized that my sophomore year we won state, and for me to play state and not have touched the court my freshman year was like a really big deal to me, and it really showed me that like I was a big asset. So, junior year it was more of like executing things and like perfecting things. So, I think that's about it. But I think my junior year we we focused a lot on state and we had like a lot of wrinkles that we needed to fix out before we got there. But like as a player, I definitely believe that I did my best. Like I really tried.
Right. You guys, and this is just my personal opinion. Everyone has a different view on different things in respect to volleyball. I think you guys have a phenomenal coach. I think she expects and demands leadership from each one of those young ladies. You're in your junior year. You guys travel all over your region competing against the best teams in the best tournaments. What did leadership look like for you in your junior year? Um, being the dominant player at the net that you were are?
Yeah, junior year, we really did like outside perspective, we might have looked like we had it together, but like we had a lot of like splats my junior year. We had a really big hole in our leadership because we only had two seniors. And I definitely think that like talking to Colleen and like all the coaches, like as juniors, like as our class as a whole, they really like made us step up and like fill in those gaps that we had. So I feel like that really like prepared us for where we are now.
You're in your junior year. You you put a serious cap on verbiage. You put a serious cap on expectations, not from just your teammates but yourself as well. Um, where where does again, when you're on a team that's good as you guys have been throughout the entirety of the process, how do you keep up the motivational part of not just, what do they call that, um, calling in the volleyball game, like, okay, I know we're gonna beat this team, so I really don't have to give much effort. uh, how do you stay motivated in games that you know are going to come easy for you guys? And not that that means that you're disrespecting your opponent, but quality of athlete dictates that.
Yeah, I think the motivation is definitely like the reps and like the things that we like the potential for what the game could be. So like yeah, we're playing the game, but like it's also a time for us to like get practice to improve for like later down the road and like building chemistry like with our team and like hitter setter connection is like a big thing that we work on. But definitely like our team. Like we have a really good team chemistry and like we might be beating a team like 15-3, but like we make it fun and like we'll run different plays and do different things to just like be better prepared.
Do you know at this point within your junior season which teams you wanted to compete against by now?
Um well, when I had my senior meeting with my coach, I picked what school? I picked Pope John Paul and I just picked schools that like would have good games and that like we usually don't get to play because like either they aren't in our division or like just scheduling conflicts. So I really did like stress that I wanted to play other schools. Like we play Mount Carmel in a jamboree, which like we don't usually see them. And like we go to tournaments that we don't usually see other people.
When you look at volleyball, what was your did you play club volleyball?
Yes, I played club. I started club in sixth grade, seventh grade, but like club wasn't the club that I was playing for, like we were good, but it wasn't like as high stakes as when I got to like eighth grade and really like realized that this is what I really wanted to do.
And who do you play club with?
I played for Core Elite.
Core Elite, and
Yes.
that's a New Orleans based volleyball club.
Yes, sir.
No, sir, it's not required. You're doing a phenomenal job, Tay. Uh, where do you all? Where are the parameters in which you guys travel to compete?
Well, I've been on travel teams since I've been with this club. There's a travel and regional. Regional stays inside of Louisiana, but travel, like we've been as far as Las Vegas and Chicago. So the club does a really good job at trying to like expose us to different levels of volleyball because in Louisiana, volleyball it's like it's becoming more mainstream, but it's like not as big as it is in Texas and it's not as big as it is in Vegas. So
Right.
like just getting us to those different environments so we can have that exposure, I think they do a really great job.
Where has been the funnest place that you traveled to compete at?
Definitely Vegas. We had a lot of fun in Vegas.
What was
Yeah.
it like being in an environment where you got hundreds of coaches watching throughout the entirety of the tournament, but at any given court, you can see 8 to 15 to 20 coaches watching a team play. How does that make you more competitive?
Well, just a few coaches that like float around and that you see makes you like really want to like put in the work. But like when you're not playing and you go to like the open court or like the premier court and like you see the girls like battling and like all the coaches like around the court and like everyone's talking and stuff, like it's really fun. Like it really shows you that like people like other than yourself like enjoy the game just as much as you do.
When you look at it from that perspective, what emotions does that draw out of you?
I get excited and I'm really passionate about it. So like seeing like them like play different rallies, like you get excited like with the girls or like you get just as excited as them. So
Play or watch?
watch. Playing is fun, but like as someone who plays and like when you know how to play and like you watch someone else play, you can get like more technical and like you can see spots easier like when you're not on the court. Or like when you're on the bench and like you're watching, like it's fun to like tell your teammates like, oh, there's a hole or like you have six open or like attack the setter. But I prefer to watch.
I prefer to watch too. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I've had this fascination with the University of Texas since
Yeah.
I become a fan, and then like I'm crushed right now because they've lost like 4 games already this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They hadn't lost like 4 games in 3 years, maybe. Uh,
Yeah.
so this is tough for us Longhorns. Uh, now, uh, from a college perspective, how do you if you were a college volleyball coach and you were looking at Tay Young, what would your words be to Tay?
What would they be like to me, like advice or like about
Yeah.
me? Okay. Um, I would definitely say like my work ethic. I have a really good work ethic. I work hard, like I'm really dedicated and I get passionate, but like also sometimes my passion like may come off as frustration. So I definitely like would tell myself like to try and control that better, like not let it show as much and like to be patient. Like not everybody like playing with some people, like you realize not everybody wants it as bad as you do, but like that doesn't take away from like your game. Like as long as you do what you do, like people are watching you.
Right. When you you play too much Tay. Hey, I want to ask you this, and this is a for real question. How did you manage to take your work ethic and take your passion? And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Having watched you play the last 3 seasons, you definitely have both of them. How hard was it though for you to take your passion, your work ethic, your love for the game of volleyball, throw it to the side, and become a debutante? Ah,
um
ah,
yeah, it's a lot. I definitely say like sometimes I think like why did I sign up for this? Because like I'm not big on like the dresses and stuff, but like it's an experience. And I think life's about experiences and like leaving tournaments and like having to rush home to go put on like a big ball gown. It's crazy, but like it's fun. And like also like usually like my friends are volleyball players, so like being able to form connections with girls like outside of volleyball or like not always being with my volleyball team. think it's gonna be fun.
When you look at volleyball from a perspective of, and I believe that you want to play college volleyball. I see a
Yes.
young lady that definitely wants to play college volleyball, but we need to hear it from your mouth. Uh, what's that like for you? How do you talk to yourself in saying, uh, "Yes, I want to play volleyball at my next level"? What does my next level look like, and how do I show the schools that I'm interested in playing at that I'm interested?
Yeah, so recruiting for volleyball is like way different than any other sport in my opinion. And like with basketball and football, like they kind of come looking for you and then like stuff like kind of just starts to flow in the more you put yourself out there. With volleyball, there's like dead periods and like certain times where they can and can't talk to you. And like you really just have to be consistent and like just kind of be like, hey, like I'm here, like I'm ready, like I'm interested. Also knowing what like a college needs. Like it doesn't make sense if I'm class of 25 and like they have three middles already, then like you're kind of like not needed. So definitely like being open and transparent with coaches. I think they really do enjoy like asking like what are your needs for my class or like what my position will look like on your team. I've definitely like I email like I've been sending a lot of emails and like when you don't get a response or like there's some days like you won't get a response for weeks, but like it takes a lot of courage to keep emailing.
Yes.
So yeah, I definitely I definitely have sent my round of emails. So
Um, and I think it started this year for next year. They're
yeah,
able they added like three more scholarships or something that volley.
now D1 schools can offer partial scholarships because like at first it was a full ride or nothing. So now due to NIL, they can like give you a little more money D1 wise. But I also started really late in my recruiting journey. Like I always knew that I wanted to play collegiately, but I didn't know like how and like I didn't have the resources like of like how to put myself out there until maybe like the past year or so. So like when I am contacting coaches, like it takes a lot of maturity when they're like, "Oh, like we're done recruiting for your class," or like we don't have any needs for you. So like just being like really open-minded, but still like staying positive and trying.
Right. You're in your senior year.
Yes.
You're in your senior year. Talk to a eighth grader right now that starting volleyball in the same shoes that you were in just 4 years ago. What do you
Yeah.
tell that young lady?
Um, I definitely say it's hard. Like, there's some things and like some people that are gonna like make you hate your sport and like make you feel like it's not worth even trying. But like, if it's something like that deep down you do want to do, I'd say like keep trying and send out emails. Cause like, if it's something you want to do college wise, like they're looking for you now.
Right.
So like, put your name out there.
What are some changes that you'd like to see happen at the high school level that you would think that would make volleyball better?
I think the double rule was fun because, like, and they implemented it in college, but like high school, like we're just starting to get it, and like some coaches are kind of like, I mean, some refs are still like not calling it, or some are still calling it. But I think like if it's athletic and the ball is spinning, like if the setter like really like hustled, I think you could kind of let it go. I don't know.
I,
I think like the doubles sometimes like okay like they're drastic, but like when people are like you can like tell the hustles they're like in the like it's like a six like ball rally. I think like they can kind of get away with it.
I agree, but I also think that just because the ball spins, like again, sometimes, like you said, sometimes when you're in an effort to get your wrist back, to get under the ball and you're moving so fast, sometimes you can't control how the ball comes into your hand. And
Yeah.
depending on how the ball is struck, it may adversely react to your hand. So me personally, I don't believe every double call was actually a double because the speed of the ball is just blazing, and you young ladies are getting bigger, stronger, and faster. Every year, the game of volleyball gets better.
Yeah.
Um, if you could change the way the divisions and classifications are are done in reference to playoffs, what's one change you would make?
Well, volleyball divisions are like way different than like football and stuff, but I think like the way that they do the divisions, sometimes like a school can be big, but their volleyball program can like consist of only 12 girls. But also, I don't think there should be divisions sometimes because like there's some people in certain divisions that like are very beatable. And I also think that sometimes state should be like one team in the state, not like like a state winner for each division. I think there should be like a team like all state winner. But other than that, nothing.
I don't know, man. When I look at it, and I, again, from a parent perspective, talking to other parents, and it's no, I don't think this is from a place of jealousy or envy, but take Country Day,
Hmm.
who in the last 20 years have probably won 18 state championships out of 20,
Yeah.
or the Dominicans, or the Mount Carmels, or the Newmans. Did I say Newman? Oh, my bad. I
No.
didn't even say Newman. Yes, I did. Or the Curses, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, if you win a lot, maybe, and it's just maybe from a competitive spirit standpoint, because you're obviously, if you win, and this is kudos to Country Day as well, too, though. If you win 18 in a row, shouldn't you want to go up to the
Yeah.
competitive level to see if you can win 4 or 5 more?
That's what I was saying with the divisions. It's about who's in your division and they base it off of school size.
Right.
And Country Day, it's a small school with a good volleyball program,
A
but I
great
don't think
volleyball
it's
program.
fair. Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's fair for them to play another small school with like a volleyball program of 8 girls. Like that's not fair. So I think that they should definitely like I think it's fair like if like new Dominican Mount, Country Day, like if you have so many wins, I think that you should kind of make like your own division. Or like sometimes like you just want to see good volleyball. And usually like the first 2 days of state, when you're usually playing teams that like you're kind of like okay, like we're just getting warmed up for Saturday. But yeah, I do agree with that. That's fair.
What was, and this is probably going to be the last question, so if you can't make it up, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Uh, what was your experience like in winning a state championship? Like,
Yeah, yeah. We've been to state every year. I've been there, but sophomore year was different. Also Pope John Paul, Christian Tullis, he passed away the morning of the like we played state. So like it was really like hard. Like that Thursday, Friday, it was fun, like really easy, but that Saturday was like way different. And also they wanted it, like Pope John Paul really wanted it. And our coach like brought us in her room that morning and like broke the news to us and like told us like no offense, like don't go easy on them. Like don't make it like we still need to go in and compete and do what we need to do. Because at the end of the day, like things happen, but we can't let that take away from our game and like what we had going on. And like that year, we were predicted to win state, and we hadn't won state in a while, and like we really wanted to prove everybody wrong. So just like keeping our heads on and like knowing the circumstances and like the emotional state of everybody. But that was a difficult year state wise.
Right, right. Y'all in one or two?
Two. I don't think we're one. I think we're two.
What would be a fairy tale way to end your high school volleyball career?
Playing Pope John Paul again for state. Yeah, like letting it all like come crashing back. Because like going into it, it was supposed to be like a really good game. Like we were rivals. But I feel like their circumstance, like things happen, but like under their circumstance, I knew like the game would have been way different if things didn't play out how they did. So I would say like playing them again. I want to
Right.
play them again senior year.
Hey, there you guys have it. Her dream way to end the season is playing a team that she has great respect for, great adoration for, and that she feels is going to get the greatest amount of competitive juices from her and her Isidore Newman Greeny's teammates. Uh, we want to thank everyone who watched this broadcast, as well as thank you, Tay.
Thank you.
Come back again anytime. It's cool. Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. I told you I don't be playing. I don't mince words. I don't mince words, Tay. I wanted to do an interview with you for a very long time. So this was like a bucket list for me. Um, Getting to get this interview done. You're a phenomenal volleyball player, a
Thank you.
phenomenal student, and I'm a fan. Like
Thanks.
I like going to tournaments where Newman is. Newman, Ben Franklin, not so much Mount Carmel, uh, and everybody knows why. Uh,
Yeah.
I love Mount Carmel, um, but yeah, they personal, y'all. God,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love competing against Mount Carmel. I don't actually play, but we coming, Mount Carmel. We coming. Who he is. So again, man, thank you, and tell Miss DeChantel, uh, thank you. You guys tolerated a lot this evening, but I'm happy. And so anything we can do for you, though, exposure wise, we got you. It's
Thank
really
you.
a pleasure, and enjoy your evening. Get ready for school.
Thank you so much.
You want to shout out somebody?
Um, Shout out my volleyball team, the Greenies. We're going to state this year, so
Yeah, I like. Shout out to Greenies. You guys already know what it is. Thank you. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.